Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Inappropriate Movie Database, the comedy game show about content warnings. I'm your host, Nick Martucci. I am so excited for this episode. This has been something that I have been bugging so many people about for so long, and we're gonna jump into it in a little bit. Before we get to that, right off the top, if you're watching this now and you want to be a part of this show, I'm still booking a few July dates. If you go right now to the Facebook page, if you search Inappropriate Movie Database or click the link in the description of this video, you can check out the Facebook group. Right up top, you'll see a list of all of the dates and themes this month. If you see one that interests you, please reach out to me. Comment on the post, DM, do whatever you want to do. I'd love to have you on. We have a show coming up next Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern that needs a couple more players. We're doing sequels without numbers in the title. I think I made the mistake of calling it Sequels Hard, so I don't think people are really itching to try that out. But if you are, I want you to be a part. Go to the Facebook page or go to Twitter and Instagram at IMDb Game. And join the fun. It's going to be this is so much fun to do, and I love having new people on. So please, if you want to do it, or if you know somebody who might enjoy this game, tell them. Let's bring more people on board. Speaking of the Facebook page, if you missed Monday night's episode, the theme was movies I've never seen. After that show was over, I put a poll of all of the movies that showed up on that show and which movie I should watch. And there was a tie in first place between the original King Kong and Mary Poppins. So today I watched Mary Poppins. It is mostly magical. It's delightful. Julie Andrews, Dick Van Dyke are glorious. I also can see why I got bored with it as a kid. There's 40 minutes between supercalifragilisticexpialidocious and Chim Chimmery, and it is a long 40 minutes. It's weird how long of a stretch there is without Mary Poppins in Mary Poppins, and she is missed. But other than that, real great. Glad I watched it. Eventually I'll watch King Kong. I saw that's on HBO, so maybe that's next. Also, go back and watch that episode because it was a lot of fun. Enough about past episodes. Tonight, we are talking about movies that won or were nominated for Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. It is a wild list of movies. This all stems from the fact that I learned a few years back that Julia Roberts won Best Actress at the Kids' Choice Awards for Pretty Woman. And that led me down
Definitely
a
kids
rabbit
movie.
Oh, you will be surprised what movie the children voted for over the last 30 years. I might, at the end of this episode, just go through all of them, because it is fun if anybody wants to sit through that. But before we get to that, we're going to get to 12 of them. And to do that, joining me on the show tonight are Jere Pilapil, Liz Estey, Marc Catino. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
This is going to be so much fun. I think we're all like around the same age, give or take 5-6 years. So I feel like we all grew up in primetime Nickelodeon. I don't know if all of you watched it as much as I did. As you can see, I was a fan, still wearing a Rocco's Modern Life shirt.
Nice.
Let's talk first. It's been a couple of weeks since he's been on so many of these in the last month. Marc Catino back on the show.
That's me.
That's you. Hello. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing.
Yeah, that is honestly the fairest answer to that question, and I need to stop asking it.
I will be very honest, and even though you messaged earlier today about the show, I completely forgot that I was on the show.
that happens. So I feel like you also watched Nickelodeon, right?
Oh yes.
And you cared about the Kids Choice Awards?
No, I never once watched it. Never
Really?
once. I have a problem with slime. It makes me feel queasy.
Oh, that's still a dream of mine, is to be slimed. So I'm sorry that right now I've got these two behind me. Are you going to be okay with this?
Just blocking you. No, it's fine. It's fine. I mean, it's Robin Williams, so.
Yeah, Robin Williams and Jack Black.
Love a wet man.
Yeah.
Love a wet Williams. Normally I ask a question related to the theme. I don't know what to ask tonight. You like Nickelodeon, you didn't like the Kids' Choice Awards. How do you feel about your odds tonight with knowing that?
Well, I know that the movies are going to be within the past 30 years, so
that
should be pretty easy. And by easy, I mean really hard for me.
Oldest movie on this list is from 1987.
Oh. So Ninja Turtles will be on this, and
it might be. You just have to figure out what kids would have watched and then ignore them and just go for what you think the movie is. Well, good luck. I mean, I just see Scoot in the chat is just suggesting favorite kids movie, which I guess is fair. I need you to know these movies aren't kids movies. There's some kid. What surprises me going through this list, again, I've gone through this so many times putting together the show. Once a Nickelodeon produced movie won. You would think that the company that owns the award show would stack the deck a little bit, but no.
That's why I loved it. It's the purest award show.
Well, let's talk to you about it. Also returning to the show, Liz Estey.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to be here.
You good to have you. You did love the Kids' Choice Awards.
Oh, I loved it. I tuned in to watch people get slimed. That was like the main thing I looked forward to. It was like the, culturally acceptable Schadenfreude.
Exactly.
So I was a big fan of that. And I always, fought about having access to the one desktop computer so that I could vote as a kid. My voice needed to be heard.
Oh, absolutely.
It was one of the only things I was allowed to vote on as a kid. I thought I should have been allowed to vote against the war in Iraq. But that wasn't the case. So
you had to vote for a movie.
Yeah. Although I was really, in my early childhood, I was a PBS kid because my parents didn't have cable at all. And then once I was like 10, I think we got cable. And so I started to dabble with Nickelodeon and some weird stuff, especially the live action shows on Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
What are we doing, guys?
Some of them kind of still hold up.
I watched
Kenan and Kel recently, and it's very funny.
I mean, Kenan and Kel is it makes me sad to talk about it, but the Amanda Show was solid sketch comedy. Like, I feel sad talking about it now, but it was so good. I loved it as a kid.
She was a star and should have been able to do better things.
Yeah, and should have been able to be healthy and happy as an adult. So not to give a PSA, but
I mean, it is one of two shows on Nickelodeon that produced a future SNL star, so that's good for comedy. Taron Killam popped up in the Moody's Point sketches.
Didn't he have role on, maybe it was a Disney show for years before SNL.
Maybe. I mean, he's in Big Fat Liar. He's the bully in that movie. Speaking of Amanda Bynes.
Oh, wow.
Iconic also, Paul Giamatti performance.
I think that was my introduction to Paul Giamatti, and I've loved him ever since. Also, real quick, just looking at the chat, Mannix, do you know what the name of this movie is?
Yes, I'm typing it in right now, actually. It's called The Orange Years, the Nickelodeon story.
Orange Years, I see that on Hulu. I still haven't watched it. It's good.
I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. Getting an inside look to our childhood, basically, and how it started with Hey Dude and Salute Your Shorts and Pete and Pete, and then went into Insanity.
Yeah.
I will say, I just want to plug the iCarly reboot on Paramount Plus is like surprisingly good. It really stuck the landing. I don't know how.
It's so weird seeing grown up iCarly.
It is.
Well, what bothers me is I heard them on a podcast. Lacey Mosley, who's on the iCarly, has a podcast called Scam Goddess.
Love
that
Scam
they were
Goddess.
Guests on. And the guy whose name I don't know,
he in my head, Freddie.
Is a child. And he's like, oh yeah, my daughter the other day is 2 kids. iCarly was after my time, so I don't have any connection to it.
I haven't watched too old to be watching
Nick,
iCarly, but
I'm older than you are, and I think I've seen every episode.
Well, you're weird. Like, I don't think you should admit that on the internet. There's some bad stuff in those episodes.
I mean, look, that's better than like the other thing that I spent a lot of my youth watching, which was Law and Order on TNT, or NCIS on USA. There was always a marathon happening on one of them, you know?
All right. Well,
Sorry.
Before we go too far off track, let's bring in the third guest tonight. Also returning to the show, I think I want to say he's won his last 3 or 4 appearances. Jere Pilapil's back. Hey, Jere.
Hello.
How you doing tonight?
That Josh might be able to come because I only ever lose against him.
Yeah, there was no spoilers for Monday, but there was some disappointment in some of the guests.
Wow.
How are you feeling about this topic, Jared?
Not particularly good, but like Mannix, it's the past 30 years or so it's not as hard as some of the others, but also, who knows? There's stuff that there's some crazy movies that get nominated for these Kids Choice Awards that legally they should not be able to see. So we'll
fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger won for Terminator 2.
Yeah. But that kind of makes sense because I remember having action figures from Terminator 2 when I was a kid. I
mean, that's true. But then again, like, Rambo was a Saturday morning cartoon.
That's true too, yeah.
That was a weird era. I don't want to talk too much about what might be on here because we want to get to these movies. I feel like we've done a lot of talking, so maybe we should move to the game. If this is your first time watching, here's what's going to happen tonight. I have gone to IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, and I have pulled parental warnings for a bunch of movies that either won or were nominated for Nickelodeon Kids Choice Awards. These parental warnings, I don't write them. They're written by anonymous weirdos. Maybe some of them should have been heeded for some of these movies, because apparently kids watched all of these movies, and it surprises me and upsets me a little bit. We'll get to them. What's going to happen is I'm going to read these parental warnings. My friends here are going to try to figure out what movie I'm warning you against. And unless anybody wants to add anything, or what am I looking at there? Behind you, Mannix.
Oh.
You covered your camera, so...
I didn't mean to. It's just a collage. It says you will be found.
Oh.
But it probably has some Nickelodeon stars on there because they're all people who have succumbed to Mental illness.
Oh. Well, now I feel weird about laughing about it. So thank you for putting that at the end.
You're welcome.
On that note, let's start the game. And to do that, Jere, I'm going to go to you first.
Okay.
Would you like a movie from 1991, 1997, or 2014?
2014.
2014. First movie of the night from 2014 for 5 points under the category of frightening and intense scenes. Some areas in the magical world have a certain dark feel to them, but not scary. All right, for 4 points under the category of sex and nudity, a bird is magically transformed into a naked man, but we only see him from the waist up.
This could be anything.
I feel like that's not true.
Oh.
Liz just thought of something. Anybody else? Liz, do you know what this movie is?
Birdman?
I think that's the right year, but this is not Birdman.
I don't know. You said not children's movies, so
I said
it's a worthy guess.
It is. There are some children's movies on here. Mannix, I will have to read this next clue.
I know.
For 3 points under violence and gore, a winged character's wings are severed. We do not see them being cut away, but we do see the stumps and some traces of blood the next day.
What?
Did that ruin your guess?
I'm so confused.
All right, for 2 points under sex and nudity, the 3 fairies. 2 of them wear low-cut, revealing necklines, but in human form, only the blonde has a very low-cut neckline. Different shots of the main character reveal cleavage, and when the crow is turned into a man, his shirt reveals part of his chest and top of his stomach. Also, various shots of the queen and attendees at the castle to celebrate the baby's birth have low-cut necklines as well. All right, everybody's up. Mannix, what do you think this movie is?
Maleficent.
Liz, what do you think this movie is?
Maleficent?
Jere, what do you think this movie is?
It's got to be titties. I mean, Maleficent.
This is nominated for a Kids Choice Award, Maleficent. Yay. Which I only just saw recently.
I actually really like it.
Really good.
It's good.
Yeah.
It fixes so many problems I have with Sleeping Beauty. Which I can go on. Okay, here's the thing about Sleeping Beauty. Brief tangent. Sleeping Beauty, the curse is put upon in exact language at the party for the newborn baby. On her 16th birthday, she will prick her finger, fall into a deep sleep, and will not be able to wake up. What they could do is protect her on her 16th birthday in a castle surrounded by guards. No, they immediately send her to the forest with fairies as a baby to look after her for 15 years and 363 days. And on her 16th birthday, they all leave to go plan her 16th birthday. Movie sucks, but Maleficent is great.
Gloves, you know? Haven't been invented yet.
Final clue in that, under sex and nudity, a young man kisses a sleeping princess on the lips in an attempt to break a curse.
Oh, that's what it was.
Jere and Mannix both at 2, Liz at 1. Liz, would you like a movie from 1998, 2012, or 2016?
2016.
2016. All right, from 2016 for 5 points. Under violence and gore, character gets blown up by grenade. You see the wounds. For 4 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, a man drinks a glass of a certain alienated drink and looks at the glass appreciatively.
Did you say alienated drink?
I said alienated drink. Then the man looks at the glass appreciatively. A human wrote that, presumably. For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, the final 20 to 25 minute Battle of Scarif is an intense and climactic battle sequence which contains a high body count. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because I don't know if I am.
Battle of what now?
Scarif.
Okay.
For 2 points under violence and gore, a robot hammers a stormtrooper on the head with his fist, killing him. We have 2 hands up. All right, Liz, what do you think this movie is?
Solo, a Star Wars story.
Jere, what do you think this movie is?
What year was it?
2016.
Rogue One, a Star Wars story.
Oh, motherfucker!
It is a Star Wars story, and that Star Wars story is Rogue One.
I knew he was right as soon as he said it.
I'm so glad I didn't bother answering that one.
I can't believe I got the wrong Star Wars story.
I'm probably the only one here who doesn't. Well, actually, I think that one over there too. I'm not a Star Wars guy.
I really don't like Rogue One, but I like Star Wars.
Uh-oh.
I really hated the creepy youngification in Rogue One.
Uh-huh.
Which everyone was like jerking off to and was like, the technology is so good. Like,
I mean, speaking what everyone was jerking off to, I hate the Vader fight in Rogue One. Yeah. Because it happens hours before the events of A New Hope.
Right.
So you're telling me on the Death Star, Vader is just throwing people around, slaughtering them with his lightsaber, throwing puns and like kill lines out. And then like a couple of hours later, somebody's like, Vader, nobody cares about your old wizardry ways. We don't.
It's a big star. He was in another hallway.
Final clue in violence and gore, implied mass murder. Bodies depicted lying out in mass numbers. Some characters are shot with laser blasters. Death from explosions includes brief shots of burning and falling bodies. A very high body count. Jere is at 4. Mannix is at 2. Liz is at 0. Mannix, would you like a movie from 1988, 1991, or 2015?
88.
88. From 1988, for 5 points under profanity. 7 hells, 2 dams, 1 ass, 1 bastard, 1 bitch, and 1 made-up profane word.
I love this made-up profane ones.
I love that they won't say it as if it's like a, instead of saying like the first letter word.
Because if you write it out, then nobody will understand that it's profane. All right, for 4 points under sex and nudity, there's a real quick upskirt moment right after a car crash. It's really quick and not totally clear if the character is supposed to be wearing underwear or not. Your hand went up too fast there. Anybody else? All right, what do you think this movie is?
Beetlejuice.
It is not Beetlejuice. All right, 3 points under violence and gore. Many scenes of mild, wacky, slapstick, cartoon action violence. Jere has a guess. Anybody else? Jere, what do you think this movie is?
Framed Roger Rabbit?
This one won the Kids Choice Awards. It is Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
I almost guessed that, but I was like, that's too adult.
Oh,
No,
you don't even
that
know.
That other hint makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
Yep, because Jessica Rabbit. Come on.
I just rewatched it, so I was like, oh.
That was on so many lists of like the most paused movie moments.
Oh,
Is her falling out of the car?
that's
yeah.
Also, why is there a list of most paused movie moments?
Because people are gross, Liz. And I guess so am I, because I know these lists exist.
Rule
No, you're
34,
right.
man.
That's on me. I should have known.
People are
I
human,
just
is
wanna-
my opinion on that, but you know.
I'm sorry. I'm eating Milk Duds, so there's a lot of like suction noise.
It's a movie show. You should be eating movie candy.
Well, that's why. And also, the CVS near me has buy two, get one free on the box candy.
Huh?
So I felt like I had to buy
You
three.
gotta buy 3 at that point.
You know,
And
CBS
or-
should sponsor this segment.
Yeah.
Also, in
That
Who
was
Framed-
more because it's also the CVS near Nick.
It's closer to you.
Okay, but it's not that far from you.
No. Also in Who Framed Roger Rabbit, under frightening and intense scenes, the villain's cartoon-like form is very creepy and has a high-pitched voice. His death is very disturbing as he melts into goo. And frightening and intense scenes, the high-energy Toontown sequence can be disturbing. Jere's now at 7, Mannix at 1, Liz at 0. Jere, would you like a movie from 1987, 1990, or 2017?
1990, please.
1990. You're all going to make me have to run this game again because you keep skipping over the ones I want you to pick. All right, from 1990, for 5 points under frightening and intense scenes, the villain may be intimidating for smaller children.
Isn't that the point of a villain?
Small children better be intimidated by most villains. It's weird if they aren't. You have a little sociopath on your hands if they aren't. For 4 points under profanity, one use of the word bitchin', but again, so quick you'll miss it. For 3 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, 2 scenes that show teen drinking, smoking, gambling, and fighting. A man tells 2 kids that whatever they want to do, they can do. They then ask for cigarettes. The scene is very reminiscent of Pleasure Island from Pinocchio. Just seeing Mannix. Anybody else? What do you think, Mannix?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
This is the aforementioned Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, nominated for Kids' Choice Award.
Which originated here in New Hampshire.
Mm-hmm.
Did it?
Yeah, it's a documentary about that as well.
Yeah, that bitchin' is from the end of the movie, which is one of the weirdest paced scenes I've ever seen in a movie. Where the turtles are just standing around trying to think of cool words to describe the situation that they just had. And they're just like,
Cowabunga.
exactly. Just radical. Tubular. Bitchin'. and then like Mannix said, Splinter just coming in, I've always liked cowabunga. And then they all laugh and he goes, I made a funny. And the movie ends. And no, you didn't. You said a word. Other clues in Teenage... I guess I'm angry at every movie tonight. Also in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, under frightening and intense scenes, despite the PG rating, it's a bit more dark, violent, and profane than you might expect. Unlike the TV show, the film takes itself seriously at times.
At times.
And violence and gore, the kind of violence you would expect from a martial arts movie. Jere is at 7, Mannix at 4, Liz is at 0.
I've done
Liz
a
has
lot
milk
of
duds,
work.
so she's winning.
I've done a lot of work to get that 0.
Liz, I believe it's to you. Would you like a movie from 1993, 2006, or 2015?
2006.
2006.
I honestly I'm excited to find out what the movie is, because I feel like that period of time is so nebulous to me. Like, there's a bunch of things that happened between 2000 and 2010, and it all is the same.
This one is from 2006 for 5 points under frightening and intense scenes. The second half of the film becomes dramatic and contains some sad scenes. For 4 points under sex and nudity, a man states that he and another man are standing inside his mother's vagina, though there is nothing anatomic about the scene. The 2 men are standing in a dark room, and there is light coming through a slit in the wall.
I feel like I know what this movie is.
Kids love this movie.
No.
3 points under violence and gore. When his boss won't give him his promotion, he freezes time and hits his boss repeatedly across the face and then farts in his face. Nothing, Mannix? All right, Liz, what do you think?
Oh shit, what is it called? Adam Sandler film. It's not Be Kind, Rewind. It is Bed Bath and Beyond. Click.
Jere, what do you think?
Yes, it's Click. This
is Click. This is Click.
Thank you for letting me do my free word association until I got there.
Yep, kids love Click.
Oh God, that movie! I just remember seeing that like as a pretty young person and being like, "Why is it so sad?"
It's heavy at the back end.
Yeah, second half of the film becomes dramatic and contains some sad scenes. Now, do you see what a good clue that is, and not just nothing? Also in Click, under sex and nudity, twice Michael and his wife have sex in Fast Forward, but all you see in the shadow on the wall, which is him humping her. A shadow of a dog is also briefly shown humping Michael. This only lasts a few seconds. Kids' Choice nominated Click, Alcohol, Drugs, and Smoking, thinking he's hallucinating while observing the remote's powers. Michael surmises that mass quantities of cough syrup and snack food means, quote, you get acid. Jere's at 10, Mannix at 4, Liz at 3. Mannix, would you like a movie from 2010, 2013, or 2017?
Which one would you choose? How about 2013?
2013.
Man, I don't think for the life of me I can name a film that came out in 2013.
Yeah, that's a weird year because I think you're right. I don't think any movies came out in 2013. And I'm looking at one. This movie from 2013 for 5 points under sex and nudity. The main character is a serial flirt and shares kisses with several different women throughout the film. In addition, many dresses display cleavage, and one woman wears very tight pants.
Not tight pants.
I hear a lot of eyeing.
Wait.
Liz, do you know a movie from 2013?
Is this Ghosts of Girlfriends Past?
This is not Ghost
Oh
of Girlfriend's
God, that would have
Past.
been so good. If
It would have been amazing.
I had to guess because I feel like it came out that time, and the whole point of Matthew McConaughey's character is that he's a flirt and like
That's
he
true,
has
and he has a lot
many
of dead
ghosts.
girlfriends or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen the movie. He's a serial killer, right?
Yep.
Serial flirt, serial killer.
Yeah, exactly. Same. You got it.
For 4 points under violence and gore, a strong man threatens to rip another man's head off for having an affair with his wife.
What year was this again?
2013. For 3 points under frightening and intense scenes, Mila Kunis's performance is very frightening in the second half. Not recommended for, parentheses, deleted. You are welcome to include your personal opinions about age ratings in the review section. Let's see, everyone but Jere. And now I only see Liz.
I'm not confident in my answer.
Liz, what do you think this movie?
Oh, I'm never confident in my answer. Ted.
I will say at this period, they sort of figured out what is not a kid's movie. It is absolutely not Ted.
Fuck me. Oh shit! I know what it is.
Also,
Right,
the idea
the
that they would describe Mila Kunis in Ted as very frightening in the second half.
I don't know, man. Some of these people are crazy.
That's true.
That's true. Yeah.
For 2 points under frightening and intense scenes,
I'm so mad I missed it.
Evanora is also a very disturbing character because after being shocked after what she has done to Theodora, she still doesn't see the error of her ways as she attacks Glinda and does not stop until Glinda reveals her true appearance. Mannix, what do you think this movie is?
Was it Wicked or?
Jere, what do you think?
Oz the Great and Powerful.
Oh,
Liz, what do you think?
Oz the Great and Powerful.
This is the movie nobody needs to remember. Oz the Great and Powerful.
I'm so mad. I knew exactly what it was as soon as you were like, Liz, it's not Ted. You're fucking insane. As soon as
I
that
don't
happened.
remember those words coming out of my mouth.
Well,
We all heard them.
That's how I
It happened.
translated what you said.
Final clue under violence and gore. A good witch fights to stop one of the evil witches from escaping. She is hit by magical lightning and thrown across the room. The evil witch is disfigured, partly off screen, after an item is destroyed, and she is magically thrown out the window.
now that I'm thinking about it, was Wicked even a movie at any point?
Not yet, but it's about to be 2 movies.
Ooh.
Because what we love in watching cinema is a part 1 and a part 2.
Hey, look,
They did it with Titanic.
I'm gonna say
No, they didn't.
They just had an intermission.
That's different than having 2
An
movies.
intermission
That's
can
2
last a couple
parts.
years.
Dune is allowed part 1 and part 2. I trust Denis Villeneuve implicitly,
Mhm.
and part 1 delivered.
Jere, you're at 12. Liz and Mannix at 3 each.
All that just to get 0 points there. man.
Jere, we're back to you. Would you like a movie from 2011, 2013, or 2016?
2013.
2013.
Not
But
again.
nothing exists in 2013.
A second movie
Jere,
from 2013.
you bastard.
Honestly, until you said something, I didn't even realize it was the same year. Which I guess means I'm paying attention to my own show and not on autopilot.
Hey, that's still better than Sammy accidentally saying the wrong year.
by 10 years.
It was so good, though. So
All
funny.
right. This movie is from 2013, just like Oz the Great and Powerful, which at this point you should have already re-forgotten.
It was the last Sam Raimi movie in forever.
No, that was Drag Me to Hell. There's no other movie between that and Doctor Strange. For 5 points under violence and gore, the violence includes deaths by stabbing, shooting, drowning, animal attacks, and poison, as well as torture, whipping, threats, and explosions. Most of the violence is shown on screen. Gore is infrequent but present.
Jesus.
Jere has a guess. Kids love this movie. Jere, what do you think this movie is?
Is this Hunger Games Catching Fire?
This is our first 5-point clue of the night. This was the winner that year, Hunger Games Catching Fire.
I thought it might be Hunger Games, but I was like, it's too late for that. Hadn't we moved on at that point as a culture?
We haven't.
The children had not. Also, Catching Fire is the best one.
That's true. That's true. But I somehow had made it like 2012 for
Well, this one might have helped you under frightening and intense scenes. The sequel is more intense and more dark than the first film. Sex and nudity. A woman briefly undresses on an elevator. We see this from the back. She is only shown from the chest up and the back up, but we see her lower legs, shoulders, and back. 2 men and another woman watch her. One man, who is much older than her, watches in amused approval, and the other man is in awe and shock. The other woman looks pointedly away.
When you put it that way, it's the hottest scene I've ever heard.
Look, I think Jenna Malone is underrated.
Absolutely. She's great in everything, and she's great in that scene.
Yeah. I feel like she elevated that movie just by being in it.
If you haven't seen Catching Fire, like you don't even have
don't
to see
watch
the first
anything
one.
else. Don't watch anything.
And then know that it ends there, and you don't have to deal with a part 1 and a part 2 of one story.
Catching Fire is the first or the second?
Second.
Yeah.
It's the second.
It's
the only one I should watch.
Yeah, I mean the first one's good.
Yeah,
it's fine. The second one's real good.
Man, I just remember my little brother, like, after reading those books, being like, justice for Gail.
You know what? I thought the third movie was good, considering it was like a chunk of the book where nothing happened.
See, that's why I thought it wasn't great, because it's a chunk of the story where nothing happens. And then when something finally happens in the second one, they have to rewrite it so it all happens in a letter.
Yeah.
Under sex and nudity, one character says to another character, quote, "How does it feel now that everyone in the Capitol wants to sleep with you?" And violence and gore, a man is whipped in a district square. We see his gashes. A young woman intervenes and is punched in the face and struck with the whip. The whipper threatens to shoot her. She tells him to, but he is stopped before any violence occurs. Possibly the most disturbing scene in the film. Liz, back to you. Would you like a movie from 1993, 1995, or 1997?
You know, I don't think it's going to help, but let's do my birth year, 1993.
1993.
And you guessed it, folks. I'm turning 30 next year.
I did guess that based on the year you gave me. Just a fun clue to start off with from 1993 for 5 points under profanity. Boy. Called an animal's poop shit. Mannix has a guess. Anybody else? Liz also has a guess. Liz, what do you think this movie is?
Ace Ventura?
Mannix, what do you think?
The Sandlot?
It is not Ace Ventura, which I will say will not be used on this show.
Okay, all right.
Because wow, that movie.
I just know it's bad. I don't know the specifics because I've never seen it.
At the time, it was not great. Now, it is one of the most horrifying ways to end a movie.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It took me a second to, yeah.
Also, it's not the Sandlot. I don't know if they call any animal poop shit in the Sandlot.
Worth a try.
For 4 points under violence and gore, the bloody leg of a goat is seen after the animal is presumably eaten. Everyone but Liz is up.
No.
Liz is also up. Liz, what do you think?
Babe.
Mannix, what do you think?
Oh, that answer was one big pile of shit. It's Jurassic Park.
Jere, what do you think?
It's Jurassic Park.
Oh, fuck. It's.
That's a lot of shit.
I'm just going for maximum chaos. Maximum chaos. I literally watched Jurassic Park like a week and a half ago. That's how sad this is.
Yeah, that one won that year. This is Jurassic Park.
Hey, that is a kid's film. Anyone else has seen Jurassic World Dominion? I spent money on that.
I saw the first Jurassic World, and it was the last Jurassic Park movie I might see.
Yeah, that's fair. It's really not good.
The first one is one of the best movies of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Second and third, both fun.
Yeah, especially in comparison to Jurassic World.
How many movies are they on now?
6.
Sixth. Yeah.
Oh, so it's like soon it'll be Fast and Furious.
Yeah, but those got fun after that.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say
time.
it doesn't have the quality of Fast and Furious.
Also in Jurassic Park, under frightening and intense scenes, a man's comment that the Pirates of the Caribbean pirates, quote, don't eat the tourists, may be difficult for children to understand due to the line relating to cannibalism. Feel like kids might still get it. Violence and gore.
Me when I was 8 or so.
Yeah, I mean, I think I saw this movie when I was 5, maybe, and loved it. So I can't argue with the children.
I mean, it's dinosaurs. What child is not going to love dinosaurs?
I also don't think that line really needs cannibalism to make sense. The Pirates of the Caribbean, pirates don't eat the tourists.
Violence and gore. Boy is electrocuted by a fence and falls from a great height. He appears to be dead, but recovers. And frightening and intense scenes. People are killed by dinosaurs in very gruesome manners. Very intense, somewhat disturbing. Jere, you're at 21. Mannix right behind at 6.
Just Tony.
Liz is at 1.
I can't believe I'm still in the positive.
Nobody can.
Brutal, but deserved.
Mannix, would you like a movie from 1987, 2004, or 2008?
How about 2004, the year I was supposed to graduate high school?
Hell yes.
There's a story there. We don't have time.
No time. We can't go on tangents on this show. Got to keep everything moving.
Tight. Nick runs a tight ship.
From 2004, 5 points under violence and gore. A robot is shown attacking a city, hitting buildings and crushing cars.
It's too early for that. Sorry, I was thinking out loud.
It could be any movie from the last 20 years.
For 4 points under violence and gore, a decomposing superhero is seen. Kids love this movie. Liz, what do you think this movie is?
The Incredible Hulk? Or sorry, the Hulk.
It is not Hulk.
There goes my 1 point. Along
3
with my
points.
sanity.
You lost me at superhero.
Under sex and nudity, a woman at the beginning of the film is shown wearing a leotard, revealing her thighs. She has a very curvy body, thin waist, and big thighs and rear. And throughout the movie, multiple shots of it are shown. And she is seen wearing a very tight supersuit and black leather heels that showcase it. Gross.
I need to bathe after hearing that clue.
Alex, I thought you were out. What do you think this movie is?
Is it The Incredibles?
Jere, what do you think?
I also think it's The Incredibles.
Liz?
I'm gonna say Catwoman.
I mean, you shouldn't say that. The problem with your last guess is you took off the wrong word. This is The Incredibles, not Hulk.
You know, I
was so excited when you were starting your answer.
I like to keep things interesting. No, I was trying to be honest. I could have gone with the obvious correct answer, which was answered before my turn, but I chose to be honest with what was in my head when I raised my hand.
You're not Josh Poirier.
Exactly, and I'm proud of it.
Also in The Incredibles, under violence and gore, in a scene where a man talks to a woman about a new supersuit, he talks about having a cape, but she shouts, "No capes," and lists many superheroes who have lost their lives because of their cape, in the following order: Thunderhead, Stratogale, Metaman, Dynaguy, and Splashdown. Flashbacks shown when getting snagged in a rocket, one getting sucked into a twister, etc. Despite the dark humor, the scene is obviously played for laughs.
Obviously.
And frightening and intense scenes. Once most of the family reaches the villain's island, the mother warns her children that the enemies they face are a deadly threat to them, and the kids must use their superpowers to their fullest extent, since they will be fighting for their lives. Jere, you are at 24 points. Mannix not completely out of the game at 9 points. Liz at -1. We have one more go around, 3 more movies, 1 more for each of you. That's 15 points still on the board. Mannix, if you guess it on the 5-point clue each time before...
Every single time.
Yeah. I think you have a shot. Jere, you do get to pick this movie. Where are we? There we go. Would you like a movie from 1991, 1998, or 2013?
1998, please.
What is up with all these 2013 movies,
That's
Nick?
a very good question.
Probably wants to put down his hand.
Yeah, you want to guess already, Jere? I'm going to do that. This movie...
I'm sorry, what year did you end up saying? I got distracted by my 2013 comp.
Did I say 1998?
This is 1998.
Okay.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. From 1998, for 5 points under violence and gore, a woman holds a blade to a man's throat and threatens to, quote, saw his head off. For 4 points under sex and nudity, the coach pulls down his pants to show his tattoo. His butt is highly visible.
What?
Again, kids love this movie.
No,
Liz
no,
has a
never.
guess.
No. I thought better of it.
All right, for 3 points under sex and nudity, later, a man declares, quote, "And I like her, and she likes me back. And she showed me her boobies, and I like them too." Mannix has a guess. Liz has a guess. Jere, you got anything?
No.
Liz, what do you think this movie is?
American Pie?
what do you think this movie is?
My guess is Forrest Gump, but I kind of feel like that's wrong now.
It is not Forrest Gump. And God, no, it is not American Pie.
I mean, I thought it would be very upsetting and disturbing, but I guessed anyway.
For 2 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, a man asks for a, quote, scotch and water. Hold the scotch. Good joke. All right, 1 point clue for 1 point under violence and gore. Football and sports-related violence. Mannix has a guess. Jere has a guess. Liz has a guess. Liz, what do you think this movie is?
Everyone's gonna make fun of me. Remember the Titans?
Jere, what do you think this movie is?
Our second Adam Sandler classic in a row, or not in a row, but for the night, The Waterboy.
Mannix, what do you think this movie is?
I am glad that she said the wrong answer because I was thinking that and I was going to say it, but The Waterboy.
See, I'm doing a public service.
Yep. The stranglehold that Adam Sandler had on children between the mid-90s to mid-2000s. This is The Waterboy.
I've never seen The Waterboy because the premise is offensive.
It's another New Hampshire export.
Jesus.
It is like, what if Forrest Gump played football?
What if it was Remember the Titans? What if Denzel said boobies?
And I liked them.
Look, I only know Rudy. That is the only football movie.
That is untrue. You also know Remember the Titans.
No, I mean, like, I can only really tell you about the movie, Rudy. Like, I know the titles.
Where are we? We got 2 movies left, and we're just doing them for fun now. Jere, you're at 25. Mannix, you're at 9. Liz, you're at -3. Liz, would you like a movie from 1987, 1989, or 2017?
2017, baby.
2017, baby. Why does it sound so much worse when I say it?
There's something about the cadence. Also, I was laughing, so I think that made it less weird.
Yeah, your voice went down when you said baby.
Is it not supposed to go down when you say baby? I've only ever heard Barry White say baby, so I don't know if that's what you're supposed to do.
Oh man, I think the combination of like fatigue and sugar from the candy is hitting me at once. It's bad. It's real bad.
All right. Penultimate movie, 2017, for 5 points under violence and gore. A man tries to murder a woman with a knife, but is knocked out. The scene also contains a fight with knives and frying pans. Quite violent, but no blood.
It's the second knife-threatening clue we've had in a movie.
Kids love knife fights. For 4 points under violence and gore, the last third of the movie feels like a load of action movie tropes, with one of the lead actresses as an action hero fighting people for comedic effect. For 3 points under sex and nudity, quote, we sucked balls in front of DJ Khaled. Mannix, what do you think this movie is?
Deadpool?
It is not Deadpool.
Okay.
I think that was a solid guess, though.
Certainly something Deadpool would say.
Yeah.
For 2 points under violence and gore, unlike the previous films in the series, this installment has a hostage and rescue mission, played for comedic effect. No blood and no gore, but there are explosions and mayhem played as slapstick humor.
I'm so confused. Deeply confused.
All right, let's go to the 1 point clue. For 1 point under sex and nudity, whilst watching another girl group perform, Fat Amy asks Aubrey, quote, "Does your vagina suddenly not feel so tight?" This is easy to miss. However, anyone who is paying attention will hear it. Nothing, Mannix. Jared, do you know what this movie is?
This is a Pitch Perfect movie?
You want to be more specific than that?
I'll guess 3.
Liz, what do you think?
Pitch Perfect 3.
This is Pitch Perfect 3, the one with the hostages and sucking balls in front of DJ Khaled.
Yeah, because isn't the whole thing like that they are doing the USO tour?
I don't know. Nobody saw this movie.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but these clues make me really want to see it.
Yeah, right.
It's extremely like the second one, they kind of go a bit off what the first one was.
Yeah, right.
And then the third one, they just completely.
I never saw the third one, but I've seen the others. So
The second one is the one where she like does the internship with Keegan-Michael Key, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I remember.
One movie remains. Again, just for the fun of it, let's try it. Jerry, you're at 26. Mannix, you're at 8. Liz, you're at -2.
Hell yeah.
Mannix, you get to pick the last movie. Do you want a movie from 1987, 1989, or 1991?
1989.
1989. I will say there are a few that we didn't get to that I really need to discuss with you after this round.
Okay.
This is the final movie, though, for 5 points from 1989 under violence and gore. A man's head explodes. Cartoon style, no blood or gore. For 4 points under alcohol, drugs, and smoking, there is a dream sequence where a woman is smoking cigarettes and a man comes in smoking, and the whole room is full of smoke. For 3 points under sex and nudity, birth of a child, though not graphic. For 2 points, under sex and nudity, film begins and ends with simulated sperm/egg action. You got anything, Mannix?
I'll make a guess.
All right, yeah, why
I'll
not?
do that.
Make a
Why not?
guess. What do you think, Mannix?
Bill and Ted.
Jere, what do you think?
Look who's talking.
Liz, what do you think?
Look who's talking.
You froze for a second. Between
When-
who's and
Whose
talking.
head explodes and look who's talking?
Mine. Because I saw the film when I was like 10.
Yeah, the movie is not Bill and Ted. This movie is Look Who's Talking.
Honestly, I almost said it at the clue before that, but
At the birth of the baby? Really thought that
Yeah.
might be more of a giveaway.
no, but the opening of like the sperm and egg, I feel like
Mhm.
that's super memorable.
Well,
Yeah.
this would have been even more memorable to wrap this up. Final clue in Look Who's Talking under sex and nudity. There is the famous fertilization scene where one sperm talks to the others as they go along their way. Then the talking sperm gets into the egg and the fertilization is shown with lightning that speeds up cellular division.
Oh man, that's definitely Osmosis Jones.
Yeah.
Surprisingly not nominated.
That's so weird. I feel like Osmosis Jones was a key part of my youth.
I saw it in health class.
Oh.
That was Look Who's Talking. This was Inappropriate Movie Database. Our final scores tonight: Liz at 0, Mannix at 7. Shout out to Jessica real quick, who says
10.
she got 10. But our winner tonight, as he usually is, Jere Pilapil at 28 points.
Well deserved.
Which might be your high score. I don't know off the top of my head, but that might be it. This is so fun. If you can do any of you really want this Zoom to end?
Do we want what?
This Zoom to end. This show to end. Do you need to do
really.
something right now? Do you mind if I go through some of these early years?
Yeah, sure.
Not at
So
all.
things we didn't get to. 1988 was the first year. There were 2 nominees, Adventures in Babysitting and La Bamba. But the winner, Beverly Hills Cop 2. First Kids Choice Movie Award. 1989, nominees, Beetlejuice and Police Academy 5, Assignment Miami Beach. Winner, Who Framed Roger Rabbit. 1990, nominees, Back to the Future Part 2 and Batman. Winner, Look Who's Talking. 1991, Home Alone 1, beat out Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and House Party. Kids love House Party.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like, who?
1992 is the year. Addams Family won. It beat out My Girl, Hook, and Boys in the Hood.
That was a good year for movies.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry, but Boys in the Hood was a Kids' Choice Award.
Not only that, also Ice Cube lost to Arnold Schwarzenegger in Terminator 2.
Oh,
Boys love seeing themselves on screen. Representation matters.
That was one of the big ones. Some of these others, 2000 nominees, Toy Story 2, Pokemon the first movie, Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. They all lost to Big Daddy.
And that Pokemon one, that was the saddest movie ever.
Yeah.
I hated Big Daddy so much.
Big Daddy at the Kids' Choice Awards beat Pokemon and Toy Story 2.
Wasn't that the kid that played Jughead Jones?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it's because it was Cole and Dylan Sprouse. And so
that's true. Kids love the Sprouses.
Yeah, they do. I mean, that stayed true,
2001, How the Grinch Stole Christmas 1, beating out Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, Charlie's Angels, and Big Mama's House.
That's fair.
One of my favorite ones, I shared this to the Facebook page already. The 2002 nominees, Dr. Dolittle 2, Monsters, Inc., Shrek, Spy Kids, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. All of them lost to Rush Hour 2.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I remember going to see Rush Hour in the theaters. That was an event, man.
Yeah.
Don't knock it.
2003 nominees, Spider-Man, Santa Claus 2, Big Fat Liar, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, Ice Age. All of them lost to Austin Powers and Goldmember.
I
the Elon Musk film.
Well, the other Austin Powers got robbed, so
yeah, I want
got nominated.
That's the thing. I want to see the clip of somebody in front of an auditorium full of children say the phrase "Austin Powers and Spider shagged me."
But they're all American kids, so they don't get it.
2009, Iron Man, The Dark Knight, Bedtime Stories, all lost to High School Musical 3 senior year.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it's senior year, Nick.
Also, only one Harry Potter movie ever won.
That's correct.
Yeah. In hindsight, that's right.
Good job, kids.
It was Goblet of Fire.
Oh, really?
That was the first one I saw.
It beat out Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Herbie Fully Loaded, and Are We There Yet? Because again, kids love Ice Cube.
Well, I mean, none of those movies were good anyway, so of course Harry Potter would win.
Yeah, Goblet of Fire was solid. The last good one.
2008, Transformers, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End, and Are We Done Yet? All lost to, what is it? Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Mm-hmm. Well, it makes sense because kids are the only people who can hear the chipmunks frequency.
2021, nominees Doolittle, Hamilton, Hubie Halloween, Mulan, Sonic the Hedgehog, all lost to Wonder Woman 1984.
I still haven't seen that movie.
I am not going to. And finally, last year, nominees Cinderella, Clifford the Big Red Dog, Jungle Cruise, Space Jam New Legacy, Tom and Jerry, all lost to No Way Home, which is fine. Yeah, Boys in the Hood got a lot of Kids' Choice love. Thank you to anybody still watching. We should wrap up this game. Jared did just say he'd be right back, so I figured now is as good a time as any to wrap it up. Real loose episode, but like I said, this whole episode is just an excuse for me to say, go to any like Wikipedia or any page about the Kids' Choice Awards and deep dive on that. You'll have a fun time. Before we go, if there is anything you want to promote, anywhere you want to be found, or just any last words, Liz, what do you have?
I think my guesses were great, and I contributed a lot of incorrect information. And I'm proud of that. You can find me on Twitter at Liz Estey. You can find me on Facebook, which I don't go on that much. And you can find me on Instagram at Liz Estey. I'm excited to start baking in my new oven, which hopefully I can actually use the recommended baking times.
Hell yeah.
So, because I think the oven is actually at the temperature it says it's at the time it says it's at it, which is a new experience for me baking. So thrilling stuff is happening. I don't really have much to promote, but I'll keep being on the show.
You're always welcome back. You're always a delight. Also, go back and find one of the episodes that Liz hosted, because she knows how hard this is from the other end.
Yeah, it is.
Liz, thank you as always. Mannix, you even got a link up there.
Yes, I'm going to start selling artwork, graphic artwork, and you can find some of it there. And if you go there, you might find an Etsy page or something like that eventually, and then you'd be able to know how to buy it outside of going to art shows, which scares the hell out of me.
Nice. Well, good luck with that. And finally, our winner, Jere, you got anything going on?
Yeah, I'm always writing up new movie reviews at filmsims.com or on Twitter or Letterboxd as Wing Dingling. Oh, also Twitch, where I stream Persona 4 every Tuesday night.
You close to finishing that game?
No, not at all. I think I'm still halfway. It's like a 130-hour game or something like that. So
it doesn't make. I haven't played a game since the PlayStation 2, so I have no idea how games work.
I sit there for like 90 minutes every week, so I got several, probably months to go.
Well, thank you all for doing this. This was such a delight. Thank you for indulging me in just this weird thing I wanted to talk about. Once again, Jere Pilapil, Liz Estey, Marc Catino. I'm Nick Martucci. You can find me on all social media at Blundering Idiom. Find the show on Facebook, search Inappropriate Movie Database, or click the link in the description of this video. Instagram and Twitter at IMDb Game. If you want to be a contestant, please reach out anywhere. Like I said, we do this show 2 times a week, Monday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. We're back next Monday with Sequels Easy, which is just a sequel, that's a movie name plus a number. And then on Thursday, Sequels Hard, which is no numbers. Just trying to remember titles. People are going to have a bad time. Hopefully it'll be a fun show. But we have some real fun stuff coming up, and I'm gonna keep doing this for the foreseeable future. I'm afraid to go outside, so we're gonna keep doing these Zoom shows. So like, subscribe, do whatever YouTubers tell you to do. Thank you